Relationships can be a real pain in the neck. Get ready for relationship advice with a bite, here on Vampire Princess Problems.
You're listening to the Vampire Princess Podcast. This is a podcast for very pretty people. I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Seth.
And today we have a podcast, and we're going to start off with telling you guys what we're drinking. If you're listening right now, just comment down below what you're drinking. I'm going to be drinking a hot tea during this podcast because I have a little bit of a sore throat.
And I'm drinking a blackcurrant and apple cordial.
So today's question is, can a relationship bring you back to life? And I think it's at face value maybe a different answer than what it really is, because I would say, like, for me at face value, it's a lot of yeses, because I mean it brings like a lot of joy and like something to look forward to, and then that could just honestly be like the something like getting you out of the bed, and it just adds something to your routine that you like didn't have before, and I think that's like what's exciting about it. But I mean, my honest opinion is that it might be like a temporary fix if you don't do the work on like a personal level.
Yeah, I think it's, even if nothing else, it's a way to sort of get the ball rolling for yourself,
Right.
because it gives you incentives to do things. And after a while, you find that those things sort of settle in to be normal. So say you've got yourself stuck in a rut and your life's not going the way that you're expecting it to. You're struggling to get out of bed. You're struggling to do your chores, even your hygiene. You know, like a lot of that could be really difficult if you are in the wrong place in your own mind. And I think sometimes that just having a relationship, somebody to give you an incentive to say, okay, for me, I'm not feeling this.
Right.
But for that person that I care about, I'm going to power through. And before long, you're back in that routine. And I am speaking from experience. I did have an occasion in my life where I was incredibly depressed. So my mental health had gone straight down the toilet. There was a lot of issues that I'd had at the time, and it was a brutal existence. Didn't help that I was working night shifts all the time, and so I didn't get to socialize. I barely saw the sun through half of the year. I was in a real rough place. And somehow I managed to scrape together just enough of a social life to get into a relationship. And even though that relationship hasn't lasted, it really brought me out of where I was, and it encouraged me to sort of get a grip on myself and do the stuff that I wasn't really capable of doing for myself. So even now, I'm way better at taking care of myself than I was before, even though the relationship hasn't lasted.
Right. And I also think a lot of it too goes back to like, you know, your partner like can love you, but they can't love you enough for the both of you. Like at some point you have to like look inwards and love yourself too. I think a lot of times like when someone does come from like a different place, like a negative place, into a relationship, it's like they're not in a place where they love themselves, so they're looking to their partner to get like that reassurance that like you're perfect, like I find you like so attractive, just like all these things that are bettering your confidence. But at the end of the day, like if you don't have inwards like confidence of yourself, then it's not gonna actually add anything. Like it might be a quick fix, but it's not gonna last forever.
For sure. I mean, for one thing, it adds a level of pressure onto your partner almost to be a crutch for you, which they shouldn't be. There should be, an equal partner in a relationship. They shouldn't be sort of holding you up all the time. And it gets too much, and eventually it becomes a chore. And, as much as a lot of them say, oh, you're not a burden, I'm sorry to say, sometimes you can be. It's not all the time. It's not always. But if you are not, basically, if you're only doing stuff for other people and not for yourself, eventually it comes a point where it does wear a bit thin. And that's unfortunately a brutally honest take, one that I only realised when I was the person being the burden. And ultimately, as I say, things didn't sort of work out, but I did at the very least manage to work out how to be better. So it won't be something that happens again if I'm ready for a relationship again. So
Yeah,
definitely improvement.
I agree, because it's not another person's like responsibility to like fix you. Like, you have to fix yourself. Like, yeah, your partner can be there for encouragement and like trying to help you along the way, but at the end of the day, it's not their sole responsibility to do that.
That's it. There should be more of a cheerleader than a therapist.
Yeah. And like, one thing, I don't know if you're familiar with Ariana Grande. I don't know. Do you know who
Yes,
that is?
yes,
And
I'm aware.
she like had a relationship with Mac Miller, and they broke up, and then he passed away. I don't know if you know like that part, but the thing was, he had died from like an accidental overdose, I believe. But people were messaging her, tweeting her every day, like, this is your fault. You could have prevented this. You knew he had an addiction going and you decided to leave him anyway. Like, basically blaming her for it. So I was just like, it was a crazy thing to like watch unfold, because people were like, at that time, like, so divided. Like, a lot of people felt like it was her responsibility to have like been there for him, if like whatever, she knew he was having an addiction or like being suicidal.
That's horrific. No, it's not her responsibility. It's not. It's not on her. She shouldn't have to stick around and inconvenience her life because of the state of addiction somebody else has. Addiction is a very unfortunate thing. It's a very, very terrible condition that affects a lot of people, and it is, it's something that people who have addictions, do deserve better than the scorn that society gives them. But that doesn't make it somebody else's responsibility to be in a relationship with them just in case something happens.
Right.
It's really not fair. And so, and besides, I think linking it to the question, that relationship wouldn't have brought him, anything, I think, that would have potentially saved him. It's quite possible that he didn't get worse because of it. It's just that he continued on the path that he was going on with or without the relationship and wound up in the place that he was going to wind up. Who knows what could have happened? So to say that it's her fault when there's really sort of no evidence that it wouldn't have happened had she stuck around, I think that's just vicious.
And I think like it's alleged, I think, but I think they were maybe kind of known to sometimes maybe break up and get back together. So I think like the breakup maybe wasn't like seen as a permanent thing, but at the same time, like, she was in a relationship with another person when it happened, which was Pete Davidson. I don't know if like how much of you remember this, but yeah, so people were basically saying like they were gonna get back together, like this whole thing like shouldn't have happened, it was her fault, like, I don't know, just like really guilt tripping her for it, which was just like a crazy thing to like witness.
It's horrible. She's allowed to move on. You're allowed to have other relationships with other people after you've broke up with somebody or been broken up with or whatever. It's not your responsibility to stay single just because of what might happen with somebody else either. It's yeah, I think those people really need to look inward a little bit at where these ideas are coming from.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, some of the biggest advice like to give someone is like, before you get like into a relationship, is to just ask yourself like, what am I looking like to gain out of this relationship? That way, like, like, going in, like, am I looking for someone to like actually fix me, or am I looking for someone that I want to do the work with? Like, set your intentions straight before you get into the relationship.
That's it. Yeah, it's like I think I said on the last one, people get into relationships for all different reasons, ranging from status and power and, all sorts of things to the good stuff, love and romance and going on cute dates and stuff like that. All different reasons why people want relationships. And some of them are more valid than others. I mean, I've never been a particular big fan of arranged marriage or marriage for blending families for power and status, because that sort of stuff winds up with the French Revolution. But there's definitely a sort of strong vibe of having a proper romantic relationship that can make all the difference in the world. That is life affirming stuff. That is the real sort of, it's the good stuff. It's the stuff that brings out the best in people. And sometimes that can be it. It's like it can help somebody love themselves again, just because if they've got a channel for the emotions that they've been pent up, and they can finally actually release some of that and actually be the people that they're meant to be. For example, I feel like I'm wasted on being single, because I feel like I've got a lot more to offer than this single life really provides. It's just unfortunate that it takes two to tango, so I need somebody else willing to put that faith in me. But we'll get there in the end, okay?
Yeah, and I think when you're in the relationship too, like something else you can ask yourself is like, are they complementing your life or are they completing your life? Like, there's such a difference in that. I think if the other person is like the sole like source of your purpose, then it's just like it's too much pressure onto the relationship. I think you need to have a partner that has a balance of just like adding to your life and complementing your life, like going along with your life and not them becoming your life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I say this as somebody that basically, I mean, when I love hard. And so it can be a tricky business trying to get that balance and not letting somebody be the sole purpose that I exist. It's too easy to fall into that trap. But I am aware that when that doesn't happen, but I still love just as much, it's incredibly fulfilling. But both of us have got to be into it. It can't just be an obsession, because that lies pain. That way is horrible for both people eventually, because when somebody's feelings fade, or if the situation doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, it's not going to last.
Yeah, definitely. The obsession, it has to be mutual. Like, it has to be like two people just equally obsessed with each other. It's just not going to work. If one person always feels like they're chasing the other person, like there'll never be enough, and they're always just like trying to better themselves.
That's it. It's like I once heard somebody describe it in a quite profound way. I was quite impressed by this. It's like when you've got an orchestra and everybody's working all together, it creates sounds that those instruments individually can't create. It's the background noise as well as the overall sort of harmony and the harmonics and things like that are only created with a clash of different instruments and different notes, where the waveforms almost collide and create something new that you can't get individually. It's that. It was a very beautiful way of describing it, I think, because if you can kind of almost imagine like each person's form of love as a primary color, and then that secondary color that you get afterwards, that's the beauty. So somebody's got yellow love, somebody's got blue love, and the green is their collective love, and it it can be quite a life enhancing thing.
Wait, that's really cute. I've never heard that before. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, it's
What color do you think you'll be?
oh, what colour would I be? Oh, crikey. Probably blue because I'm incredibly laid back.
Mm, I could see blue. What do you think I'll be?
Ooh, hmm. That's the thing. It would probably, I think, be a. I mean, if we're going on primary colours, I'm probably thinking actually a red for you.
Oh, I'm giving red.
I think you're giving red.
I
I
think
got,
so too. I was gonna
I
say
got,
red for myself.
I just get this vibe of like, that sort of fire, but not the sort of real ferocious yellow flames, but the kind of the embers, the sort of where the real heat's created. The stuff that you get your cooking done with, or the or that turns the clay into the solid sculpture. That's your fire.
Oh my god, that is so deep. I was thinking like red is like cherries and lipstick.
I thought some colors, I guess.
That's why I was going red. I was just like, red's the cool color. My car is red, you know. I just think red is a, like, I don't know, like a vibe.
For sure.
I got red nails right now too, actually.
Oh, bro. Actually, I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
That's what friends are for, isn't it? Recognizing these things.
And so, you know how earlier you said that like when you were in the relationship and maybe you guys had like healthy habits together and then like after you guys broke up, you still like continued some of them. What do you have some examples of that?
Yeah. So I I never really sort of used to take care of my hair all that much, which, considering I've got long hair, is a bit of an issue. I'd just kind of brush it very simply. I'd just, if I was washing it, I'd just use some combo stuff, just, and I'd basically over condition it. Wasn't really very good. I'd do the bare minimum required just to make my hair go into a ponytail so I could go to work and look vaguely like I belonged with society. I really didn't put in much effort before. But since then, I've started using, like more like sort of higher end sort of shampoo, which I only wash close to the scalp and then let the water run down to the ends. And then I use conditioner on the ends and not near the scalp, so my hair doesn't get too greasy. I pay more attention to
You
brushing.
you have a hair care routine.
Yeah, I developed a hair care routine and I'm sticking with it because it feels good. My hair has never been this smooth.
It's
Although I
like
do need to get it trimmed a bit.
the best thing you could get from a situationship is just like they have you in the habit of like going on a jog every day at like 6 a.m. Like if you did that together for like 8 months or something and then you guys broke up and like that was the habit you kept, that would be like, it's not all a loss here.
I can't really say I've been for a jog with or without a relationship in a very long time. In fact, these days, because of my aversion to physical exercise, I think if I was to go on a jog, they'd have to measure it on the Richter scale.
Oh yeah, you're so he's being just not. He's playing. I don't like this negative self-talk.
It's fine. It's my British sense of self-deprecation. It's fine. It's
Oh yeah.
it's all in jest. We're good. We're good.
But yeah, are there any you think bad habits that you've had to unlearn, like from being with that person, like if they were a smoker or just anything like that?
Well, I mean, to be honest, she was a smoker, but I never really sort of picked up on that habit again myself.
Okay.
I used to back in the day, but even with that relationship, I was never really tempted to pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing, because I was normally driving to hers, and
It's not legal there?
No. Yeah,
Oh,
to be
I
honest,
didn't know. I
it
had no
should be.
idea.
Yeah, it should be legal. It's the kind of stuff where, I mean, for one thing, the amount of tax that they'd make off it, they'd have to start fixing things just so it didn't look like they were making a profit. But unfortunately, we've just basically got a bunch of old people in office who are still thinking of yesterday's propaganda. So it hasn't been legalized the way that it should.
Well, to be fair, it's not fully legal here. It's like it's up to each state, you know? So each state gets to like say if it's legal in that state or not. So it is different in different areas. But I think it's just like a federal rule, like no. Like if you have a federal job, like the ultimate answer is no. But some states can allow you to do it.
Yeah, I can kind of understand it on some levels. Like if you've got like a government job of some description, or if you're in certain areas, then being impeded by that stuff would probably be just as bad as, like, it'd be the same as like you're not allowed to drink on the job, for example, which, you know, I don't see as an issue. But once you've gone home and you're on your own time, as long as it's not still in your system by the time you start your next shift, I really don't see a problem. But you know, that's just me. The thing is, like I say, it's all about if they can legalize it properly, where it removes the incentive for people to be growing all sorts of crazy shit and spiking it with all sorts of weird stuff. You know, then it means that it can be regulated to be a lot safer than otherwise. And like I say, the tax they could get off it's fantastic. I know we're getting off topic here on philosophical law-based stuff surrounding recreational substances, but I've got an opinion on this.
No,
Really.
to be honest, I would think if anything, I could be mistaken, so someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that it is legal in Canada, like either fully or mostly. So I was thinking you guys would be more like in alignment with that.
We should be, but there are some things that old people just cannot move past. And as unfortunate as it is a, what's the word? Basically, it's one of those political issues that they judge their opinion of it based more on how it's going to be affecting votes rather than actual sensible policy. Certain things will get certain voters, and politicians being politicians, they will go against their own beliefs just to get votes. And it doesn't help that a lot of them don't have the level of understanding that the scientists do, and they'll blatantly ignore the science if it's politically convenient for them.
I feel like now all I can wonder is if it's legal in Australia or not. Like I want to know like how it is in other countries, but I'm gonna have to Google that later.
Yeah, I mean the Aussies are chilled as it is. You know, they're big on the banter, but a lot of the time they're just too busy taking it easy. From what I gather, I've had.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's legal there? We'll have to Google it after this.
I don't know, because a lot of their governments have been quite conservative.
I would think yes, it is. If I had to guess right now, that's just what I think in my mind.
I would be leaning towards no, just because the people may be chilled, but the governments are still old people.
Well, you know what that means. One of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not happy with you get. No, I expect, if I am wrong, to get a politely worded "told you so."
I'm probably wrong. I also know in my vote that there's a good chance I could be wrong. It's just because they, like you said, they give that chilled out vibe. If it's legal in Canada, I would think it'd be legal in Australia. Like, there's the only things I have to like go by, you know.
The thing about the Aussies that I've known is they were chilled out without it. So I mean, I think if they were using it, I don't know whether they'd get anything done. They'd just be like, yeah, this is great. This is chilled out. We should probably get on with some stuff, but I don't know.
Would you want to go there to Australia?
I'd probably end up getting eaten by a spider that's twice my size. I don't know whether I know that's a stereotype. It's just they're creepy crawlies. Are like
I know.
so unbelievably venomous that I think like you like they would read some stuff from fiction about like toxic aliens on a weird planet, and they'd just be like, well, that's just kind of like regular Australian wildlife. Um,
I
yeah,
definitely want to go though. I want to hold one of those koalas, but with gloves on, because I think they have disease.
yeah, yeah. That's quite cool. I'd like to go, but I think it's too hot for wearing like a full suit of armor, which is what I would be wearing if I went to Australia.
I also can't exactly imagine what I think like the cuisine would be like if it's any different at all, or like what's different about it. Like I would be so curious because like, I mean, to be completely honest, you don't hear all that much about like Australian recipes. Like it's not a very popular like type of food.
Yeah, I mean they've got. I think a lot of it's because a lot of it's very westernized, despite them not being, from the West. A lot of the people there, their ancestors are Western, and I think they also have a lot of because their sort of proximity to like Southeast Asia and those sorts of areas. They've got a lot of cuisine coming from there. Another thing, they're very big on farming. I think they'd have the Wagyu steaks and stuff like that as a thing there, which is obviously Wagyu beef is very expensive, but obviously because they farm it there, it's probably going to be a little cheaper to get from the source. So having a good high quality steak, that's got to be something that I imagine is good. So going
That
to some
that is really
reasonably
true.
fine dining, yeah, reasonably fine dining with a good steak, I think that'd work well.
Yeah, and I can't even speak too much because American cuisine is just like hot dog and hamburger. No.
British
I do
cuisine.
feel like the best things probably to like come from like America have got to be like gumbo. Like it's got to be like a Cajun recipe. I feel like those are actually like very good.
Wasn't Cajun basically French Canadians that sort of moved down to the deep south, if memory serves? Is that right?
I
Am I
think
getting?
so. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was the French Canadians or just the French or maybe both.
possibly. In any case, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty world famous, the various recipes that they have. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if that turns out to be some of the best stuff that you've got available, because it sounds pretty tasty what's been described to me in the past. So I definitely want to give that one a try,
Yeah.
gumbo and things like that.
Like we should
Um,
not be advertising hot dogs and hamburgers. We should be advertising like beignets. Like we should be advertising Cajun food definitely.
I think the two main sort of foods that really sort of came from Britain were things like fish and chips, and a surprising one, chicken tikka masala, because we've got a very high sort of Indian population here, and in the city near to me, Leicester, it's probably the most multicultural city in the UK, and that's where they basically invented chicken tikka masala as a curry. So that's pretty much that, and fish and chips are the only real things that we've got. Everything else, the British have unfortunately basically robbed from the rest of the world.
Oh,
So,
but since we're speaking about like diet, do you feel like you have a better like diet like when you're in the relationship or when you're single by yourself? Like which way do you feel you eat better?
oh, um, now that's a tough one. When I'm not in a relationship, it's there's a lot more junk food.
Oh, really?
Whereas I tend to make a bit more of an effort when I'm in a relationship. But unfortunately, because I'm constantly trying to make an effort, every meal has to be some extravagant nonsense that I've put together. So I tend to overdo it a little bit. So I don't know on average which is more healthy, but I probably would say I have a lot more vegetables when I'm in a relationship than when I'm not.
I feel like it's the complete opposite for me because like when I'm by myself, like I make myself like a regular meal with like regular portions and like a healthy meal. But then like I'm in a relationship and they're like, "Oh, I want pizza." Like, "Oh, I want burgers." "Oh, I want like Mexican food." Like, and it's just like there's a lot of eating involved.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, pizza and large populations of sweet foods and things like that being scattered around on a buffet table, that does happen in a relationship too. Don't mistake me. But when I am doing my own cooking, um, it tends to be when I'm cooking for myself, I end up making a portion for two anyway, and then I end up eating it on my own. So at least if I make the same portion when there's somebody else there, I'm actually eating less. So it's not as bad.
Yeah, I ended up eating like the same amount as the person double my size, so that's why.
Right.
Or just like, oh, we'll just have a burger. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of like food dates, like they're fun to go on.
That's it. Yeah, as well. Yeah, they're thinking about that. Yeah, when it's going out time and food dates, I suppose. Yeah, I'd probably factoring that in. Yeah, it might be slightly worse in the relationship because you go to places that are like really greasy. Your proper greasy spoon restaurants and lots of sort of takeaway foods and stuff like that. Yeah, big stack of burgers that are as big as your head.
And then I'm like, oh my god, how did I gain 5 pounds? Like, I don't know.
I don't know how I'm put on so much weight, he says, eating a bowl of pasta that's as big as his torso. Yeah.
It's like I don't eat like that when I'm by myself. I barely ever like get takeout or get fast food or anything. I just normally always eat at my house.
Yeah, that's fair. That should be a rule. I suppose it's another thing. It means you feel comfortable with that person
Yeah.
because you're not sort of fussing over every little thing. You're just like, oh, I want this. Do you fancy this? Yeah, I fancy that. Let's have that.
Yeah.
You're comfortable with them. Whereas when you're on your own, sometimes people get into the habit of being a bit too overcautious with it. So, I mean, I sometimes do. I switch between being overcautious and I'm just going to throw like a load of random stuff into the deep fryer and see what happens, which is never good for you, as it turns out.
And see, would you ever go to a restaurant by yourself?
Um, I've done so once or twice before, but it's not really a big thing for me. I think half the experience is the company and just talking about the stuff you're eating. It's like, oh, I've ordered this and it's really nice. You should try some, and sharing is half the experience, I find.
Yeah. I don't think I would like to go like out to a sit down dinner by myself. I think
Hmm.
I could definitely just like go to Taco Bell or just like get takeout or something, but I feel like I would do it like way, way less often if I'm just like by myself.
Yeah, it feels like it would be kind of boring on your own as well. Like, I don't know about you. I think I might have mentioned this last time as well. Like doing stuff solo rather than on a date. There's certain things that are just better with company because, like, if you're experiencing certain things, and this includes restaurants, but also certain sightseeing, I find there's a lot of, I don't know, you're just kind of there. Whereas if you're on a date, there's like somebody sharing the same thing, and you're getting as much of a vibe from seeing that person's enjoyment out
Yeah.
of the experience as you would be from experiencing it yourself.
Yeah, like going to the movies or something like that. I might consider like going by myself if I'm just like, hey, I want to go see this movie. None of my friends are available. Like everyone's working, everyone's busy. Like I don't want to miss it, so I'll just take myself to the movie. But obviously, it would be way, way more fun if like me and my friends all went together.
That's it. Yeah, like I've been to a movie by myself before. I always feel paranoid. Like if I have to sort of leave my seat for any reason, like say you have to nip off and use the facilities for a bit, you're always worried. Oh, what if somebody, knocks over my popcorn or, things like that. I just feel really awkward leaving my seat in a cinema if there's nobody there to sort of look after my food and drink.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I never really considered that. I think I would just wait until the end.
I don't have the option, unfortunately. If I need to go, I need to go. It's a medical thing. So if I have to run away, so be it.
True.
Yeah. So as far as dates go, though, it's sometimes dates themselves, they can impact a lot of the sort of routines and stuff that you do for yourself afterwards as well. Like they'll give you ideas. You can sort of say, okay, well that date didn't work with this person, but I'm still going to keep the general idea, in my mind, so that if I meet somebody that is into that sort of thing, then we can hit it off. Obviously, generally speaking, I find that you don't take somebody to the same restaurant as you took your ex, but it depends really. If it's a good restaurant you've been going to before you even met either of them, then it's fine, I suppose. But
Oh, yikes, that is so awkward. I don't even think I'd want to know. I mean, you just keep that inside you and don't even tell me you took some other girl there before. Because I'm pretty sure I'd be like, oh, like, it would feel kind of weird.
But before that, if I was going with my family, like so
Yeah.
sometimes, like if I'm going to visit my sister who lives a little bit away, and like I meet my sister there, and my parents are visiting her as well. We'll all go out for a family meal. If I happen to take a date there at some point, I'm not making it date exclusive. That's just a restaurant I happen to enjoy that I thought would be nice to also bring a potential partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And you could definitely do, like, the same activity, like you said. That's what I'm saying. If you find someone with a healthy activity, like they like to go hiking or something, you could at least try to keep the activity up.
Yeah, that's true. Although I'm not going hiking. I refuse.
Oh,
No.
you wouldn't would you try to go on a small one if like someone asked you?
Yeah, for the right person, I suppose. I would have to point out to them first that I'm horrifically unhealthy, and it's probably going to be more embarrassing than anything else. I'd be like, "What you are about to see? Uh, what happens basically when a walrus tries to climb a tree?"
Can you stop? I'm pretty sure you'd make it just fine.
Well, I'll give it a whirl. If nothing else,
I don't think you'd like it, maybe.
yeah, I probably wouldn't. But yeah, it would have to be somebody particularly special to me to get me to do that.
Just like a small one, like a half mile.
Yeah, going for a walk in general is not too bad. But if it's like a hike is something I consider to be like long distance.
Yeah.
But just going out for a walk's not a problem. Like I used to do that with an ex. We'd go around the sort of wildlife area near where we live, and that's quite nice. So
Oh yeah,
you're
like,
always going to see different things there.
there's some national parks and like a lot of them have like small hikes, like maybe half mile or mile hikes to like see some little like site like a waterfall or something. So there are some like smaller ones out there. But yeah,
That's
there's
nice.
still the incline, I guess.
Yeah, that does sound good though. I like the idea of going to see a waterfall. It's too flat here. We don't really have many waterfalls. Most of them are in very specific areas, which are very touristy.
Do you guys even have national parks or do you?
I don't really know what the name is for them, but we have something kind of similar. like designated areas of beauty and things like that.
Oh,
Like
that's so cute.
yeah,
Designated areas of beauty.
like there's oh, like the North Yorkshire Moors, for example. There's a lot of moorland which is protected. You can't just build on it, and a lot of the towns there are properly ancient, and it's there's something wonderful about having that that level of sort of protection for the natural beauty there. Like the only stuff that's really allowed to operate on the land is things like farms, because there's a lot of farmland there, but even that's restricted from certain areas. Some places are just like nature reserves, wildlife only. There are hiking trails, kind of similar, I think, to your national parks. But as I say, I don't really know the sort of terminology that they use, like the government term for it. But I know that I just, they are areas which are designated as natural beauty spots that you can't mess with, and
It's just
they're really nice.
it's crazy. In America, I feel like so much government stuff is just like beaten into me. Like even when we're in elementary school, like, we're like, yes, we all know about the national parks. Like they beat that kind of stuff into us.
Mm.
We learn a lot of American history, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your history is kind of fascinating. It's there's a lot of stuff that surprised me actually about it. Reading up on some of it and seeing documentaries and things. One thing I haven't seen enough of, which I do need to look into more, is the history of your national parks. Because, I mean, what a cool date idea for that. That'd be somewhere good to go.
It was like every year, like in history, it was always like, this is how every history class went: Revolutionary War, like Civil War, World War One, and World War Two. We just learned that over and over and over every single year.
I didn't really learn anything about the your Revolutionary War until I started playing Fallout 4. And then suddenly I was fascinated. I was like, right, I have to learn about this because it's actually a pretty cool idea. So yeah,
So it's
video
not
game.
drilled into you like it is us.
No, basically we just know it as, on such and such a date we decided that we wanted to keep India rather than America. And
In American history, it was just like, it was all dubs. We won everything. Like we were the best. We were the best. We crushed them.
yeah, we lost some battles and thought, yeah, fuck it, it's more trouble than it's worth. Then just basically focused our efforts elsewhere. Plus, you guys had a lot of help from the French, and we just didn't want a long, protracted conflict with the French again because it was getting boring by this point. I think we'd had like so many wars with the French. It was just like, you know what, this just isn't worth it anymore. Let's try and make peace. And nowadays, it's all tourism and friendship, so it's all good.
Wow, so that's how it is. Y'all don't even think about us.
I think you guys are great. We think, a lot of us love going over there. I've yet to, but I will. Give it a little time, and I think I told you about this before on off stream or off podcast.
Off the mic, yeah.
Yeah, off mic. That's the term I should be using, isn't it? How I want to drive the Lincoln Highway or be chauffeured down the Lincoln Highway because I don't know how I'm going to cope driving on the wrong side of the road.
I mean, it seems like there should be tours for that sort of thing, but there's definitely not. No.
I don't think there is, because the problem is getting a tour to start at Times Square is going to be difficult enough as it is. Also, the fact that if you didn't sleep and you only drove at the speed limit at all times, no interruptions, it would still take like 36 hours to make the entire trip.
Yeah, you know how in Europe you guys have those on-off buses, like tour buses in every city?
Yeah.
Like we don't have that in a lot of like American cities. Probably only the big ones, like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Miami, something like that. It's not like, I don't think there's like a tour like on off bus Lincoln Highway. Like definitely not.
No, I doubt it. I mean, considering how many states it goes through.
But there should be, because it's like actual history, you know?
Absolutely. It's just one of those things that I imagine what they'd have to do if they were going to do a tour like that. They'd need to have it as probably like something of a kind of week-long tour where it would take the entire week to go from A to B on a coach where there wasn't too many people, so everybody's got like a little cabin on a coach almost. And then when you're in the seated area, there's a little tour guide saying, you know, this is a thing that happened, you know, like a traveling holiday. People do that sometimes on trains, I think, where they'll stop off for a little while at each destination, get off, do a bit of tourism, get back on the train, go to the next stop, do the same again in the next town. And I think it would work really nicely. And can you imagine sort of going on holiday with a partner to do some of that, see some history, travel like the entire width of the country, and you know, like.
So if the American government would honestly just like to go ahead and email us, they can click on our bio. It'll take us to our links, and our email is in there, because we have a proposition for you. This is something you guys could be profiting on. We have an idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. I'm happy to, you know, like go on one of these tours. I want to go on one of these tours myself, because it'd be fantastic. Because at this rate, I'm gonna end up having to pay through the nose just to like get somebody to drive me across from one side of the, because it's basically starting off in Times Square and finishing at the Palace of the Legion of Honor in San Francisco. That's a long drive. I'd need somebody willing to put up with me for long enough to make that trip.
Which coast do you think you would like more? Like the East Coast, where it's like New York City and Miami and stuff, on the other side where it's like California with San Francisco and stuff like that?
Oh, now that's a question. Because the thing is, most of the sightseeing I would do would probably be related to video games that I've played. So I think I might get. It boils down to, would I like to go and see Massachusetts area and visit all the Fallout 4 locations, or would I like to go visit all the Fallout New Vegas locations? And so I suppose I probably would enjoy the West Coast more, but it's bloody hot, so I'd have to acclimatize myself a lot more for it.
Okay, I know the first place I would take you if you came to America.
Okay.
The Cheesecake Factory. I swear to God, the Cheesecake Factory. It's something you need to go there and experience. It's like a restaurant. The menu is like 30, maybe 40 pages, and it's just like small print of food. There's like so many menu items. And it's just like all types of food, like Asian food, Italian food, American food. Like, it's an insane menu.
Right, that sounds nuts. Well, I mean, that's obviously, if I'm in America, I've got to go for the American food option. So that's what I'll be looking at.
You have to get an appetizer when you go, okay? It's an unspoken rule that it's just like one of those restaurants, you have to get the appetizers. Like, they have like really popular ones like fried mac and cheese bites or something like that.
Oh, that sounds good.
And then at the end of that meal, where you've had an appetizer, a big meal, like a Alfredo, like chicken or whatever, and bread, it comes with bread, brown bread and white bread. And then after all of that, you're going to order a big piece of cheesecake, like over like 1,500 calorie piece of cheesecake, probably, like birthday cake cheesecake or red velvet cheesecake, like the most unhealthy thing you've ever heard of in your life. But when you get it, it is the best thing you have ever eaten.
Okay, right. This sounds good. You like, if I go over there, you're on. This is going to be a thing.
It's just like, it's like almost like gluttony. It's like so amazing though. It's just like the truly like American dining experience. It's just like, it's everything you wanted to ever taste ever.
Well, I don't know whether gluttony. I think it's either gluttony or sloth, which is my favourite of the sins.
But the
It's
cheesecake is amazing. It is so good. Like I cannot stress to you enough how much I actually love the cheesecake.
okay. Well, I've got to go then. I've got to do that. So yeah, that's the thing that's happening. But yeah, there are some places that I do have to go when I'm over there. One of which I've got to go to the Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. That's almost like a rite of passage for
That's a
gamers.
Fallout thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's just got to happen. Like some of the characters in game are literally based on the people that are there. Like there's one of the barmaids there is the basis for the real the in-game character Trudy is based off one of the barmaids at the actual place in real life. Same with another character called Easy Pete. It's just, yeah, I've got to go visit just to meet those people and be like, hello, thank you very much indeed for allowing this to happen.
Yeah, I can't even blame you because I'm a really big Sherlock Holmes fan. So whenever I went to England, I was just like, I've got to go to like 221B Baker Street. Like my freaking life depends on it. Like I nothing want like more in my life than to go there. Like it was just
Yes.
like I'd been dying to
I
go like all my
understand.
life. I've been like reading about that place. Like I read every Sherlock Holmes book. Like I love the TV show. I was like a really big fan. I had shirts and everything. And when I went there, it's like you can tour the little house and there's like a gift shop. And I actually have like a bag and like some other stuff that I got from there that I use all the time still.
Oh, that's very good.
But then
That's
also
the
it's like kind of like a touristy thing. Like the place is not really all that special, but in London I had looked up where they actually filmed the TV show, like with Benedict Cumberbatch in it, and
oh,
because
nice.
the street they used was not actually that street because that street was like so busy, it was like a side street, and so I looked up that address and I took a picture by that door too.
Oh, sweet. That sounds good. Then I mean, it sounds like you definitely understand the assignment. You know, not just the actual location, but the props for doing it. One thing. I mean, the only time I've ever visited somewhere like that, and unfortunately, I visited it before it became famous. Are you familiar with the film Hot Fuzz?
No.
It's got Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, and it's based around them being policemen.
Don't be
In
offended though. I just honestly I don't watch a lot of movies. Like I'm like always so behind on everything and I just end up rewatching like all my comfort shows instead of like ever trying something new. So like it
Fair
could
enough.
just be like popular there, but it also could have been popular here. I just don't watch a lot of movies.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a comedy, and I think you would actually enjoy it. So I'm going to put that on my recommendations list for you. And it's well, they kind of film it in several different towns, and they've kind of mishmashed them together to create the town that it's set in. And I've been to a couple of those towns, you know, before they were sort of featured in the films. So I do know that sort of one of them in particular, I was kind of looking at this sort of pedestrianized sort of town center kind of street. And when I was watching the film, I was like, I've been there. I've had food in that shop there, you know, in that restaurant, sorry, cafe. Well, because it's just in fact, there's one scene where I swear the camera was in the doorway of like the best cafe in town that I went to when I was visiting. So it's really quite cool. But yeah, I didn't get to do any Hot Fuzz tourism because obviously the film didn't exist at the time. But it was quite an interesting thing, sort of seeing it from the other side, where it was kind of you were there before it had become famous through the film.
See, yeah, we're just both nerds, but in different ways, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, I think that aspect circles back a little bit to the prime question. You know, can a relationship bring you back to life? I used to be kind of embarrassed about being a geek. I wasn't going to give it up, but I certainly was like, I was never popular because of it, and it certainly made me feel a bit awkward at times. You know, subject to people not being very nice because of being a geek. It's, you know, because kids are stupid and mean. And yet, when I've had relationships, they've, like, my ex did at least actively encourage my little nerdy hobbies and say how cool it was that I was making such an effort on these little things that made me happy. And since then, even though, as I say, the relationship is no longer a thing, I still feel very happy doing those things because somebody encouraged me to do it. And I feel way more happy in myself, in my hobby, for having that support and encouragement.
Oh, that is actually like something nice that you did get from that, then, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
thank
definite
you so
positive.
much for sharing with me, and thank you so much to everyone that's listening. And if you want to help out our page, you can like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, thanks very much, everyone. Always appreciate you.